October 17th and October 24th of 2018. I am Sudo.
I'm BG.
And I'm OOZE.
For the week of October 17th, we have going to OOZE for
Nightwing number 50, 51, and Batman number 55. Not in that order. I don't know why I keep saying it in that order, but that's what's happening.
Because it's numerical.
Yeah.
I am excited to see what happens here.
Yeah. It's a lot. So I don't know if anyone's heard about the recent change in DC from...
Rick rolled us?
Please go away. They changed Dick Grayson's name to Rick Grayson. That is R-I-C Grayson. Not even with a K. Yeah. R-I-C Grayson. Hearing of this, I was like, I'm highly offended and I'm going to stop collecting Nightwing. But I actually read Batman number 55, which is where this, the plot starts. And I caught up with Nightwing, so I actually know what's going on. I'm not going to stop reading Nightwing, unfortunately. It's fine. But so in Batman number 55, Nightwing goes back to Gotham to, chill with bats and go on a patrol at night and just, hunt down some local robberies and clean up the city a little bit with Batman.
Good old times.
Yeah, because why not? And we have certain flashes to another character who we don't know who it is, but he's coming into Gotham from another international airport out of the country. Don't know where it is. And it keeps on kind of panning back to him just doing random things, like he went to a diner and had dinner and he was just listening to people's conversations, and he went to a gun store and bought a very specific gun for whatever reason, and then he went into an apartment and said that he was looking for his mom, and his mom lived in the apartment but she wasn't answering, so he needed to go get into the apartment. Meanwhile, Dick Grayson is being, funny, Dick Grayson-y, like, making puns. Like, very specifically, I had to send this one to Bambi, because I was waiting for everyone else to be here in the cast in Studio B to actually see or listen to what the actual pun was. Let me find it really quick.
Oh, the anticipation's killing me.
Yeah.
I love a good pun.
Yeah. But Batman and Nightwing end up fighting a, horde of mummies. For some reason. Whatever reason, there's mummies.
Ghastly.
And, Nightwing asks for what the Pharaoh's name was, what he said his name was, and he said that it was Phantom Pharaoh. And Nightwing's like, oh, huh.
That sounds familiar, Phantom Pharaoh.
Was he a guy named Tom who's a really big fan of mummies? And Batman's like, what? And he's like, Phantom. And Batman's like, please stop. Which is me. All the time.
Oh, that was genuine. That's funny.
So yeah, it's light. It's happy. Everything's fine. And then Dick Grayson's like, alright, so they're on top of a building now, and he's like, okay, whoever uses their, what is that called? Hook thing? Grappling hook first to catch on top one of the buildings loses. Whoever does it first, we're gonna fall off. And Batman's like, no. And he's like, okay, not a competition. Let's just do it to, remind ourselves of the good old times and whatever. And Batman's like, okay, whatever. And Nightwing's like, I'm gonna win. So they jump off a building, and, a couple panels later, you see Batman use his grappling hook, and Dick's like, told you I was gonna win. Told you. So, then they see the bat signal. They have to go to Commissioner Gordon, and they're on top of the police department next to the bat signal, and nothing's really happening. They're talking about how, what's his name? Last name is Crow. His full name is Scarecrow. What is his real name? Does anyone remember? Dr. something Crow.
Hatch something. Okay, Google.
I got it.
What's the name of the Scarecrow?
I got it.
According to Scarecrow, Batman Wiki fandom powered by
Jonathan Crane.
Jonathan Crane.
Jonathan Crane, also
Dr. Jonathan Crane.
Shut up, Google.
enemy of Batman.
Yeah. So, according to Gordon, Jonathan Crane has broken out of Arkham.
How do
And-
these people keep breaking out? Gotham is stupid. Sorry.
Gotham is stupid. So is Metropolis.
So is Eternia for that matter.
Yeah. True story.
Yes.
Throwbacks.
Hashtag Throwback Thursday. It's Wednesday.
This episode might come out on a Thursday, though.
It might. Probably not.
Okay. But
Yeah, so he's broken out of Arkham, and they're discussing how he could have possibly broken out of Arkham, and then we pan back to the other guy who's in the apartment, and he has a sniper pointed at someone, and then he shoots, and you see Dick Grayson get shot in the head.
Right.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
that'll happen.
and yep, it happened. It definitely happened. I'm gonna show you guys. I know that I just
And
closed
that's in
this book.
Batman 55.
That was in Batman number 55.
Spoilers. I'm still at the Batman wedding. I don't know what
That
happened
was
yet.
number 50.
We're all talking about the Batman wedding suit on. Haha, episode 1.
Another throwback.
It's a throwback episode. I'm totally using THD. Damn. Piffed.
Oh, that's awesome.
Is it?
Well, it's not awesome, but I mean, it's a cool picture.
It's not Damien.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yep. And then we see the guy pack up his gun and everything. He also has a claw hand. I forgot to mention that. I don't know why. He has a claw hand.
Important details.
Yep.
It's the claw from Inspector Gadget.
I forgot about the claw. Obviously.
He's
it's
like,
with-
I don't get you, gadgets. I don't know if that's his voice.
No.
I think his voice is really deep.
Next time. Kind of like that, but without the high-pitched squealing. And then there was a from his cat.
That's pretty crazy. So,
Yeah.
Batman really set some things up. So are you thinking that the DC couldn't handle the D?
I'm going to call.
Seriously, that's the one that the scenario. I quit the podcast.
I have to leave forever.
We're gonna text the group text we have. Baby's gonna be like, what happened? Suit, I made a pun. I'm excited to hear what happens. That's an interesting cover.
It is an interesting cover. Look at this cover. It's Nightwing number 50. It says he once was Nightwing. Now all you know about him changes. And he has a scar on the wrong side of his head. Because it was on the other side.
Oh.
And
Maybe he's
he has
looking in a
shaved
mirror.
head. Yeah,
Maybe must be
that is
wrong.
what I said, actually. When I was talking about it before with Bambi and PG.
Great.
But he has a shaved head. Oh man. I took very little notes on this because I thought we were gonna talk about a lot of things. And I was trying to make it quick.
Great.
And that we didn't talk about it at that time. So yeah. So I took like literally 2 sentences of notes for number 50. Basically, we open with him in the hospital, and he's all messed up, and he is kind of going day by day, not knowing really who he is. He constantly has, like, blackouts and can't remember certain things that he's done just now, like, as him going through his day. He can't remember everything.
Memory loss and stuff.
Yeah.
Mask off, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. As Richard Grayson, he doesn't know what's going on in his life. Barbara shows up and is trying to remind him of who he is, and apparently she's done this before and been like, hey, so you're Nightwing, you have to help people, this is what you do. And he's like, look, Barbara, I don't know what you're talking about, I can't remember anything of me being Nightwing or this Dick Grayson person. Actually, she shows up at his bar that he's been going to pretty frequently because he's an alcoholic now.
Everybody's got a vice.
And everyone's calling him Rick because that's what he's going by now. But he was going by Gray for a little while, and Grayson and Richard. So he's just trying to figure out who he is and how he fits into his own life, honestly. But yeah, so he's like, I don't remember who Dick Grayson is, I don't remember who Nightwing is, I don't even remember who you are. And I was like, oh god, my soul.
That's pretty brutal.
He doesn't remember Babs.
But that means they can get rid. They can start fresh.
Yeah, he wants nothing to do with her.
Oh, okay, that's good.
No, it's not. But it's okay. It's gonna be fine.
She is Starfire.
Starfire is busy in a different part of the universe, apparently.
DC timeline. DC
See,
timeline.
DC board. DC board. DC board.
D.
Yeah, it's too late.
Sounds about right. DC board.
Do you want to fight?
No, it's like.
There will be no longer any episodes. The camera was an unnecessary casualty of this
Microphone.
war.
There's no camera. This is
The
podcast.
camera is the microphone. It's
The
all
camera
together.
phone.
You just don't know how to see us yet. But continue.
So yeah, at one point he just gets really angry and he's like, I'm just, he goes back into his Nightwing cave, which I think I mentioned at some point to at least you guys, that he has his own little cave set up of, like, all of his old costumes, and it's kind of like a mini bat cave.
Isn't that the Hall of Justice?
No, it's in a sewer.
That would be cool if he had his own domain, too.
No, because he's not part of the Justice League. But he goes into his cave and whatever, and he's like, I want to start over. I want to start fresh. No, not be reminded constantly of who I was supposed to be, basically. And and then he burns his cave to the ground, and yeah, there's fire everywhere. And it's a good time. And that is the end of number 50.
Why can't they just, like, shut the lights off and walk away? They gotta set it on fire.
Because then it'll still be there.
It's fire, but
Yeah.
the metal will be there, and it'll still hold the shape. It just seems really reckless.
He's a reckless person.
Well, he did get shot.
Yep. So moving to number 51.
Nice.
The writer for number 50 and before, I don't remember his name because I didn't write it down.
I have to say, with that shaved head, he looks very Tim Drake and Damien there. Which, I don't like the shaved head.
So did it just in and out?